A very good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the new module, module 5, that is isometric projections. Okay, so this module is not having much connection to whatever we have been doing previously, that is all orthographic projections. So in the name itself there is a difference, isn't it? It's called isometric projections. So this means you need to know what do you mean by isometry, what do you mean by isometric scale, and what do you mean by isometric view, and what do you mean by isometric projections. Okay, so all the previous modules that we have been doing, that is starting from projection of points. Okay, before starting projection of points, if you remember, I told you what is orthographic projections. So what do you mean by an orthographic projections? Orthographic projection means you will be seeing the object and the rays will be falling perpendicular to the board, right, or perpendicular to the object itself, and the view of that will fall on a plane. So we have a front view and we will have a top view, right? So front view will be projected on the vertical plane and the top view will be projected on the horizontal plane, and we assume that the light rays or the rays in which the view will be seen will be perpendicular to the plane. That's why the name is called as orthographic projection. Ortho means usually perpendicular. Okay, so in that we have a front view and a top view, and in some cases we have side view also, right? So we have started from projection of points, which is orthographic projections, and then we continue with projection of lines, and then we had projection of planes. So they all had continuity, right? So they all fall under the same category. So I was telling you, right, projection of points, you have to do the same way. You have to draw the XY line. There is VP above that, HP below that, and then you have a front view falling above the XY line and top view falling below the XY line. And then we came for projection of lines, and then projection of planes, and then projection of solids. So all of them had a same procedure that we were following. Only thing is that the objects used to change. From point, which was a one-dimensional object, we further moved to lines, which was again 2D, then planes, which is also 2D, then solids, which was supposed to be a 3D objects. But what we were drawing is its different views, its front view and its top view, in 3 different positions. Correct. We had the first view, we are assuming that it is having no inclination at all. In the second view, we assume that it had inclination with HP, and in the third view we have inclination with VP. So we have first view, second view and third view to describe the entire view of the object. Actually what we get is the final view, what we get there, right? That is the third front view, what we call, that is actually the final view. All the previous view are like step by step we are coming. Okay, if it was straight it will be like this. If it was inclined only to HP, how it will look. If it is inclined to VP, how it will be looking. So actually the final view will actually tell you how the solid is actually placed. That is a proper front view and top view in the end. Okay, so we have different views, and the problems also were taking a lot of time. They were time consuming, right? But whereas isometry is concerned, this is a totally different concept. Okay, here we don't have to draw the top view and front view. There is only one view here, okay, and there is no drawing 3 different positions of that also. There is no something called as the first view, no second inclination to HP, no inclination to VP, nothing. There is only one view of an object to be drawn, and that should be drawn in the isometric view. Okay, so when I say this, maybe most of the students would be feeling happy. Okay, there are no different views. We don't have to draw the first view, second view, third view. Absolutely yes. This is much simpler than projection of solids. If you compare projection of solids and isometric projections is much easier than projection of solids, because here you don't have to draw top view, front view, side view, first, second, third, nothing. There is only one view to be drawn. If any object is given, you will directly take that object and you will draw its isometric view. Only one view. So comparatively, I am not saying this is general for everyone, but comparatively, if I am saying if you take at least say 30 minutes to 45 minutes to draw one projection of solids problem, you should be finishing an isometric problem in 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so it is that simpler when I compare projection of solids and isometry. Okay, so now let us come to what is isometric projections. What do you mean by isometric projections? So you know that definitely we are not going to draw top view, front view and all those things. Then what is isometry? What is that? So isometric projection means you are drawing the three-dimensional view of the object. Okay, so practically when you see, you will feel that it is not possible to do like that, isn't it? So to draw a 3D object, it is not possible to draw on a 2D plane. So whatever you draw in the board or whatever you draw in the sheet or in the book, it is all 2D, isn't it? It only has two axes. One is x-axis and one is y-axis. There is no z-axis in the book. So that means whatever object you are drawing is basically a two-dimensional object only. But isometry is a method in which you are trying to show the 3D object on a 2D plane. You got it? So actually, frankly speaking, if you are trying to draw a cube or any solid, cube is very simple, that's why I am taking an example of a cube. So if you are drawing a cube, that means you will be able to draw only a square, isn't it, in the book, because the thickness of that will come outside the book. You cannot draw it like that, which is not possible. If it has a thickness and if you are able to show that, then it is called as 3D, three-dimensional. But in the book, it is not possible to draw anything outside the book, so that cannot be a 3D object. But we can show how exactly the sides of the cube are there in the 2D plane only by a projection system that is called as isometric projection. And I'm very sure that most of the students, you would have done these drawings. You would have done isometric drawings unknowingly in the books every time. If you want to show it as any 3D objects, you would have done this. But the only thing is that you don't know that drawing is called as isometric drawing, or you may not know how exactly to be drawn. But roughly, if you draw, you would usually draw a cube and you will draw an inclined line on the other side and show this is how a 3D object will look, isn't it? Particularly taking an example of a cube. So most of you would have done this. This is very simple. So when you are in your school or something like, simply you will draw a sketch and show an angled lines for the edges and complete the drawing and say this is how a box will look like. If I ask you to draw a box, you will definitely draw a box, a square box, isn't it? So that is actually an isometric drawing. So in this case, what we are doing is you are trying to study how exactly an isometric drawing has to be done, what are the rules that has to be followed, and all those things. Okay, so let us start. Okay, introduction. So before starting, I just want to tell you what is isometry and how it has to be done. So isometric projection is a 3D pictorial view. This is what I've told you. So isometric basically is a method of drawing 3D drawing on a 2D plane. It enables not only to see the three dimensions of the object in a single view, but also will be able to measure them directly. Okay, so it's a way of drawing a three-dimensional view on a 2D plane, not just a view, but it is also possible for us to measure the dimensions from that particular drawing. Alright, anyways, we are not going to talk about the measuring the dimensions of that, because usually in isometric the dimensions will not be equal to the actual scale. I will explain that, what happens to the dimension, what will be the changes in its dimension of a particular sketch. Okay, so isometric equal measurement. So hence three principal faces and the axis of the object are equally inclined to the vertical plane of projections. So this is what will be the case. So as you can see here, right, so you have a sketch here. So this is actually what means is that we have three principal planes, isn't it, x, y and z. So while drawing an isometric projection, all these three principal planes will be having equal angle. That means you know that the total angle will be 360, right? So all the three principal planes will be divided equally, that is 120, 120 and 120. That means this is actually how a cube is being drawn. So if I want to draw a square surface, so you will have one vertical face and one face like this and the other face will be like this. They will be at an angle of 120. Or if I am trying to draw one more object here, so this angle, this line and this line will be at an angle of 120. Similarly, the other part on the right hand side also you will have 120 degrees. So each principal plane will be at an angle of 120 degrees. Okay, so now to make it more clear on what I was saying, so consider a cube resting on it on the corner on VP with its solid diagonal passing through that point which is perpendicular to VP. So that means this is how the sketch is. So this sketch, whatever is being shown right here, this is the isometric projection of a cube. I hope all of you have understood now what is isometric, how it has to be drawn, isn't it? So this is a cube actually, and we are showing it as a 3D object, isn't it? You know that whatever you are doing is actually here is a 3D view of the cube. So if the question is asked in the examination, draw an isometric projection of a cube, this is what you have to draw. Got it? It's as simple as that. For example, you have a side will be given to you in the question. Let's say this is 40 mm. So cube means everything will be 40 mm. So you will have to draw the 3D view of this. So you will take 40 mm here, 40 mm here, 40 mm here. Similarly 40 here, 40 here, and then 40, 40, 40, 40. You will join this. So this is an isometric projection of a cube. But what you need to note here is what should be this angle and what should be this angle. Okay, this is what you have to note. It's not that randomly you draw a line at any angle. This angle should be how much? Can anyone tell me? So if considering whatever explanation I gave in the previous one here, if the principal planes are at 120 degrees to each other, so suppose I take this as the reference here. From here I have started like this. So if I am considering horizontal as my reference, what should be this angle and what should be this angle in our next one in this drawing. So in the similar way, if I am considering this horizontal as my reference, or let's say from the base, this as the reference, this angle is supposed to be how much? 30 degrees. Same way it should be 30 degrees here also, because you can see here this is 120, this is 120. So if I am drawing a line here, it becomes 90, right, to this. So the above part will be how much? 30 degrees. So it's very simple. You will take a point and you will draw a line at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, so let us just name it. So the top portion we'll name it as A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash. The base is P dash, Q dash, R dash and S dash. So actually you can see the hidden lines, but when drawing the isometric projections, you are not going to draw any hidden lines. Hidden lines will not be shown. Okay, so this is what I was telling you. So what will be the angle of the line that you are drawing here? It will be 30 degrees with respect to the horizontal. Okay, if you draw a straight line, horizontal line, the angle at which you are supposed to draw the lines are 30 degrees. Okay, so here is an important thing. Here all the edges of the cube will appear with apparent lengths. Okay, that means that is all the edges are equally foreshortened. So what is the meaning of this? So this means that it is not directly taking the condition whatever is given in the question. For example, if it is given that the line has to be drawn at an angle of a cube has to be drawn with the length 40 mm, it is not that you will directly take from point R dash and draw 40 mm at an angle of 30 degrees. No, when you are drawing an isometric view, you are actually turning the whole object by 30 degrees, isn't it? So when you incline the object, you will feel the length has to be reduced. This concept you have studied in orthographic projection also, right? Whenever it is parallel to you only, the length will be equal. It will be equal to true length. But now that you know in isometry, you are inclining the angle by what angle? 30 degrees, right? So you are inclining the object by 30 degrees. So obviously when a straight line, if it is kept at 0 degrees and parallel to you, If it is turned by 30 degrees, the length of that would appear as reduced, isn't it? So same way here also, in isometric projections, whenever you are drawing an object and when it is inclined at 30 degrees, the dimension of that will reduce, it will shorten, definitely. Now how much will it shorten? Will it shorten different lengths for different lines, or will it be same? So as per the statement given here, all the edges of the cube will appear with apparent length, that is, all the edges appear to be equally shortened. So this is what you have to understand. So it is not that for one length it will change. So when it is the whole object is inclined at 30 degrees, right? So whatever the object you are drawing, the line of that will be correspondingly reduced by a particular constant value. Okay. Now how much is that length that is being varying? That we have to see in the next slide. Okay. So this is an important thing. You need to know how to draw. So it has been proved that on isometric projection, all the edges of the solid will get foreshortened by the ratio √2:√3 or √2 by √3 of the actual view or the actual value. That is, the isometric lengths are always, please make a note of this somewhere, it will be reduced by, not reduced, it will be reduced to 0.8164 of the true length. Okay, so this is mathematically proved. Okay, this is not some theory that we are saying, it's proved mathematically. I will just show you the derivation, how we actually get it. Okay, anyways, as far as your engineering graphics examination is concerned, you will not have to prove this thing, because that is nowhere it will be asked. You will only be asked to draw the isometric drawing. But for your understanding why it is reduced to 0.8164, you have to know. But for the drawing point of view, for your understanding point of view, you need to remember that the iso scale or the length of the sketches in the isometric drawing will have to be drawn at 0.8164 times the actual length. So what I'm trying to say here is, if I say you have to draw a line of 40 mm, that means when you're drawing that at an angle of 30 degrees, you are not drawing a 40 mm, but you are drawing 40 into 0.8164 times, which will be almost coming closer to 32, isn't it? 40 into 0.8 means it will come 4 8s are 32, so it will come around 32 point something. So that is what you have to draw. But that length, whatever you are going to get, right, whatever 32 point something or whatever length you get, that length is called as ISO 40. It is not 40 mm, it is not true scale, but you will dimension that as ISO 40, which is understood that it is isometric value of 40. That is how you dimension it in the object. So any length, in other cases when you dimension, you don't write anything like ISO, right? What you do is you directly take that line and measure the dimension and write 40, 30, whatever. But now when you write in isometric drawing, you will write, if you want to write the dimension, you will write it as ISO and then 40. When you write ISO 40, it means that it is isometric value of 40, that is 32 point something. You will not write it as 32 point something, you will write it as ISO 40. Okay, so please remember this value, that is the ratio is √2:√3 or 0.8164. So here we have the proof for that. Okay, so let's say we have to draw an isometric projection of the cube here, and then we will just draw the construction. So you know that if I draw a horizontal line, the line A dash D dash is at an angle of 30 degrees. That length is called as isometric length. Already I have told you. Whatever the length it is not the true length that is shown here, it is isometric length. Now, if I had to draw the true length of that, how much it will be and at what angle am I supposed to draw? Okay. So if I take, before that, if I take this trigonometric function from the triangle A dash, O dash and D dash, okay. So I'm repeating this again. See, this will not be asked, okay? I'm just telling this for your information only. So you need not study this derivation or need not study the proof of these things. This will not be there in the examination. Only the drawing will be there. But this is only for your knowledge. I'm sharing this to you. So from the triangle A dash, O dash and D dash, you have cos 30. Cos 30 will be O dash D dash divided by A dash D dash, isn't it? By trigonometry, you know that cos is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So adjacent is O dash D dash, hypotenuse is A dash D dash. So it's cos 30. You should know the value of cos 30. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So cos 30 is O dash D dash by A dash D dash, which is equal to root 3 by 2, because we know the value of cos 30. It's root 3 by 2. Okay. Next, cos 45 is equal to O dash D dash divided by AD, that is 1 by root 2. So where is that O dash D dash? That I will show you in the sketch. Okay, so this part should have been done first actually. Anyways, doesn't matter. Now you can see what is there in the blue colored portion here, right? So if I draw a line at 45 degrees, that is A to D, okay, capital A and capital D, from the same point, from D dash only, but instead of drawing at an angle of 30 degrees, if I draw at an angle of 45 degrees, the same object, the actual length, then that is AD, and I can take that cos 45 as O dash D dash or O dash capital D divided by AD. So that is cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Now what is this AD that I have drawn? AD is the actual length that I have drawn. For example, I am just giving a number so that you can understand. If AD, which should have been the actual side of the cube, is 50 mm, let's say. So what capital AD I am drawing is actually 50 mm, true length. And what is small a dash D dash? That is ISO 50. Okay, so that is drawn at an angle of 30 degrees. That means whatever line you are drawing at 45 degrees is the actual length, and whatever you have drawn at 30 degrees is isometric length. So if I am considering cos 30, it is root 3 by 2. Cos 45, which is the actual length, it is 1 by root 2. Now if I take the ratio of isometric length by true length, that is A dash D dash divided by AD, okay, A dash D dash divided by AD. So that will be equal to root 3 by 2 into 1 by root 2. Okay, so that will be, if I am taking the ratio of isometric length A dash D dash divided by true length AD. So what is A dash D dash here? A dash D dash is equal to divided by O dash A dash into O dash D divided by AD. Okay, I am taking it that way because O dash D dash is also equal to O dash D. That's what I have told you. O dash D dash is also equal to O dash D. That's a common side. So if I take the isometric length divided by true length, so A dash D dash divided by O dash E dash is equal to reciprocal of that, that is root 2 by root 3 into O dash D divided by AD will be equal to 1 by root 2. So I can write 2 here in the numerator. I can write this 2 in the numerator as root 2 into root 2. So root 2 gets cancelled. So that will be equal to root 2 by root 3, which is nothing but 0.816496. Okay. Therefore, the ratio of isometric length divided by true length is equal to 0.8164, or in generally we take it as 0.81 or 816. Okay. So this is just a proof, okay, as I've told you earlier. So no, you don't have to bother about this one. This is just mathematically shown that the ratio of isometric length is equal to 0.8164. So what you need to keep in your mind is that whenever you draw an isometric drawing, that has to be drawn at an ratio of whatever value multiplied by 0.8164. So that's what is given in the final statement here. Therefore, isometric length is equal to 0.8164 into true length. That will be isometric length. Okay, so you can see in the sketch here now. So whatever you are drawing it at 45 degrees is the true length, and whatever you have done with the 30 degrees is called as isometric length. So you can very clearly see the difference there, isn't it? So this is the actual length. If I am measuring from capital A to capital D is the actual length. So definitely when you can see this small a dash d dash line, it's smaller than this one. So if this is 10, for example, just for render, if this is 10, what will be this? This will be 0.8164 into 10. In other words, this is 8.164. Isn't it? If this is 10, this has to be 8. So that will be reduction in length. Okay, now what is the difference between isometric view and isometric projections? Okay, so there's a small difference between saying when we say isometric view and isometric projections. So what do you mean by isometric view? Isometric view means you are drawing it an angle of 30 degrees only, but you are drawing it with the actual or true value or true length. Then we call that as isometric view. But if you are drawing at an angle of 30 degrees and you are drawing it to the isometric scale, that is true length into 0.8164, then that is called as isometric projections. Got it? So if you can see, observe in the sketch properly here. So isometric view, to be drawn to the true scale, the edges parallel to the isometric axis are to be drawn with true length. That means you can see the two sketches here, right? So the bigger sketch here represents an isometric view and the smaller sketch inside represents isometric projection. Now you can see the difference between them, right? They are similar, same object it is, but if you are drawing it with the actual size, it looks bigger. If you are drawing it with the isometric value, it looks smaller. So we are drawing, remember in this module, we are doing isometric projections. That means you will have to draw it with the isometric values only. So after, if any one of you have in the books when you draw, if you keep the actual scale, it is considered as wrong. Okay, that is the intention why I wanted to explain this thing. So if you have done the drawing, your drawing will look absolutely proper, isn't it? If you compare the first sketch and second sketch here, except for the size, the drawing will not change. Whether it's isometric view or isometric projection, it looks the same. When we keep both of them together only, you can understand, right? One is bigger and one is smaller. If you are drawing only one sketch here, you will not actually make out whether it is bigger or smaller because there is nothing to compare. But if you are not doing it to the iso scale and if you are doing it only to the 30 degrees, then it is considered to be wrong because we are doing isometric projections. So you have to draw the scale or draw the sketches with respect to isometric value only. So that is what you mean by isometric projections. I hope this is clear. Why I am repeating that again and again, because I have seen students doing this. Finally they forget about isometric value and they directly start drawing the sketch and saying it's done, because it's very easy to do such things. They forget about the isometric value and they say 40, okay, they'll say okay, this side is 40, they'll directly take 40 and something they will draw and give. And it looks also similarly unless we actually check the dimension. When we see the dimension only, we'll know, okay, he has taken 40, not taken ISO 40. So then that drawing will be considered to be wrong. Okay, and you will not, you will have to be very sure about the dimensions also. Sometimes one of the side you will do with ISO, sometimes you forget and all those things. So please be a little attentive and concentrate on the drawing and do it. Okay, so now let us see how to get the isometric scale. This is very important, students. I want all of you to draw this in your sketchbooks on the left hand side. Okay, on the left hand, that is in the empty unruled sheet where you write the questions, right? Before starting the isometric drawing, I want all of you to do this in that left hand side. Where exactly you're going to start isometric projections, on the left hand side of that, you need to draw this isometric scale. This is a reference for you to take isometric value. So I've told you that it is in the ratio of 0.8164, and it is not possible that every time you take your calculator and multiply that and sit, isn't it? So 50, if it is told, you will take 50 into 0.8164, multiply that, get the value, and then do that. And that is again possible only if it is like 50, 40, 30, it's a whole numbers. Most of the times when you take the drawing, you may have to take a drawing when you draw the sketches, there will be a possibility that you get a length which is not exactly a whole number. So that itself may be some decimal. Again, you are multiplying into 0.8164, again it will get some more decimals, and you cannot exactly take that much of value in the compass, isn't it? For example, just telling an example. For example, you got something like 17.834. That is the length that has to be taken. How will you take that if you just multiply in the calculator and get? So you need to have this reference as a scale from where you can actually directly take that value and you can keep it, you can draw it in the sketchbook. So this is called as drawing the isometric scale. So how to get that? Okay, so let's see how we will be able to draw that scale. So first what you need to do is you need to draw a horizontal line. Okay, you need to draw a horizontal line in a plain sheet, and then you have to draw a 45-degree line. Okay, take your a protractor from one end of that horizontal line, whatever you have drawn, keep it at that particular point. Let's say I've just named it as OA. There's no need to actually mention line. You just need a reference line there, and from one end, let's say from O, you will draw a line at an angle of 45 degrees. Okay, a big line just like that without any particular value. Okay, so as it is shown here, you will draw it at an angle of 45 degrees, and that will be the true scale. Okay, so that line is, just now we did the derivation, right? There I told you, if you draw anything at 45-degree line is the true scale, and the proportionately, if you want to get the isometric scale, you will have to draw it at 30 degrees. So that is what exactly we are doing here. So we are first taking a true scale and drawing at an angle of 45 degrees, and then you can divide that particular scale into number of divisions. So this, remember, this is not simply marking in hand. You need to keep the scale at that 45-degree line and exactly measure the points. When I say 10, it should be 10 mm in the scale. That's why it's called as a true scale. You are measuring this length and you are placing it. So what you will do is you will draw a 45-degree line first and then divide that into equal parts, taking a scale, proper scale into consideration, keeping a scale there, and just mark those points 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, so on. Alright, but again I'm repeating that, don't simply put the points, because you are taking measurements from this scale. This is the reference that you are drawing. So what you need to do is you have to take the scale and measure properly and mark those corresponding points where exactly 10 mm will be there, 20 mm, 30 mm, 40 mm, 50 mm, 60 mm, so on. Okay, so that represents true scale, isn't it? In this line, 10 mm means it is 10 mm only, or 20 mm means it is 20 mm only. It is not ISO, it is true scale. Now, how to get this into ISO scale? So what you have to do now you have to draw another line from the point O itself at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, you have drawn a line at 45 degrees now. You have marked all the points. Now you have to draw another line at an angle of 30 degrees. Like this. Okay, the first line was 45. The second line what you are drawing now is at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, for the reference point of view, I will name that as C, and true scale I will name it as B. So now this 30-degree line, whatever projections you are going to get are the isometric values. Okay, now what you have to do, okay, this will be the isometric scale. Now what you have to do, you will have to take the projections from here. Okay, 50, for example, from 50 is there, you will drop a perpendicular from there to this line. Okay, it should be a perpendicular line. From 50 you will draw a perpendicular line, from 40 you can draw a perpendicular line, from 30 one perpendicular line, 20 and 10. Similarly, you will draw perpendicular lines from there, or any random length. This is because I want to specifically say 50. So any length on this line from here, if I draw a perpendicular line on this 30-degree line, will be converted into ISO. Okay, so you can see here, if from B, if I draw a projection to C, end of B, from there if I just draw up a projection to C, there is definitely, this length is smaller, right? OC is smaller than OB, but whatever length OB is there, let me assume that this is 100. If this is 100, if I project it on the 30-degree line, whatever I'm going to get length OC will be equal to ISO 100. Got it? Similarly, if I draw a line from 50 here, if this is 50, this line will exactly be ISO 50. Okay, so this is how I draw perpendicular lines. So there is no need of a calculator, there is no need to measure anything. So if somebody, if you want a problem where you want to take the length 40, directly take your compass, keep it here at O and keep it this distance. This distance is directly ISO 50. So if you want, you can take that length and measure it and see for your reference. From 50 you will draw a perpendicular down, right? So from here to here, if you take the distance in the compass and measure it and see, and check in the calculator 50 into 0.8164 and see, both this distance will be same. Alright, so this scale is applicable for all the values, isn't it? So you need not multiply every time and see, you can just have this distance. So whatever true length is there, take the true length, keep it on this 45-degree line, just drop a perpendicular to 30-degree line, and that distance if you measure, it will be ISO scale. So please remember, if you draw a line at 45-degree and mark the actual values, it's true scale. From there, if you project it downwards to a 30-degree line, then that is called as ISO scale. So you have all the values ready now. ISO 10, ISO 20, ISO 30, ISO 40 and ISO 50. Got it? Similarly, 60, 70, 80, 90, you can draw as big as you want. But this is how you draw a isometric scale. So from here, directly measurements you can take. Okay. So all this is applicable when you are doing it in the sheet, in a unruled sheet. Okay. So most of the students, few of the students are not having their sketchbooks with them, right? So they have to compulsorily draw this part. I mean, others also have to do it in the sketchbook. Why I'm saying others who don't have the sketchbook to be drawn is because they don't have the sketchbook. They have to do everything in the sheet. So every time they have to convert it into isometric scale and do it. Okay, so what is the advantage of having the sketchbook with you? That is what I'll explain now. Okay, so this is the isometric grid sheets or grid lines that is available in your sketchbook. So what I would suggest with all the students is, those who are having sketchbook with them, please pause this video for time being and get the sketchbook along with you and then listen to whatever I am saying. Okay, so please do that, because if you just listen to the video now and then if you are going and saying in the sketchbook, you may sometimes get confused. So it's better that whenever I am explaining this concept in now, you also have the same thing in your hand, that is a sketchbook with this particular sheet. It will be more useful for you to know how exactly this isometric grid sheets are there. Okay, so please, all of you, those who are having sketchbooks with you, please pause this video for time being, go get your sketchbook and then continue seeing the video. Alright? Okay, so this is the isometric sheet what you are having. So students, please note, in those who are having the sketchbooks, please note that this is not the sheets which we have been using it till now. That was a different sheet, right? So whatever you have been doing for projection of points till projection of solids, those sheets are different. If you roll back, turn back your sketchbook, in the end you will have a different kind of a grid sheets. I have told this earlier also in the class. I have told you that this is for isometric, but now please turn the pages and see that you have to find grid sheets like this, isometric sheets. Okay, have you found this? Isometric will be done in these sheets, not on the regular grid sheets. Okay, so what is the difference between these sheets and that? That is anyways having true scale. Okay, so in that you have the normal grids which are of actual scale, isn't it? That is 10 mm means it is 10 mm horizontally as well as vertically. So here in this particular sheets, they are isometric sheets. Okay, so let me just zoom this. Sorry. Okay, so you can see here the grids which are being drawn here, no, they are already in the isometric scale, and you can see these lines which are drawn, right? These lines which are drawn like this, they are not straight, isn't it? They are at an angle. And what angle they are? They are already in 30 degrees. So this makes your job very easy when you're drawing in grid sheets. Okay, when you're drawing it in sketchbook, the drawing becomes much easier because you don't have to take the line and check whether it is at 30 degrees. No, these lines, whatever is there here, these lines, if I take for example this point as the reference, so from here if I draw a line that is already at 30 degree inclined, so same way if I'm taking it on the other side also, it is inclined at 30 degrees. So it's very easy for me to draw. So if I ask you to draw a cube of side 50 mm in isometry, directly you will take like this, 30 degree here, 30 degree here, and straight also. Okay, all right. So this grid sheets are already at an angle of 30 degrees. One. Second thing you have to note here is they are also in the iso scale only. What do you mean by iso scale? So iso scale means, so if this sketch is there, right, if I zoom further, I think this is the maximum I can zoom. If I take any one point as a reference, so from here to from here, one grid line is there, right? So this line is equal to ISO 10. You can take the scale and you can measure it and see if you have the sketchbook right now. Okay, that means from any point, if I taking from here to here, from here to here, the distance, that distance is already ISO 10. ISO 10 means how much? 10 into 10 into 0.8164, that is 8.164 it should be there if you measure. Of course you cannot measure 8.16 in the scale, but when you keep the scale on that line and see, you can definitely feel that it is around 8.1. Okay, so that means it's already in the ISO scale here. Same way the height, this height is there, right? That means if this is the point from here to here, this vertical line where there is no grid lines, from one point to vertical line I'm talking about. So from any one point to other point if you take, that is also ISO 10. Okay, so that is also 8.164 only. So that means your job becomes very easy. You need not actually measure the distances and angle, nothing. Directly you can take a scale and draw a line. For example, if I want to draw a line of 50 here, okay, so 50 means I'll take any one of the point and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this line if I draw like this, it becomes ISO 50. Okay, same way if I want to draw 50 upwards, so I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I draw a line like this, this becomes ISO 50. So this, if I count this way also 50, vertical also 50, and on the left hand side also it is 50. So it's very easy for us to draw if you are using sketchbook. Now if you are not using the sketchbook, if you are drawing it in a plain sheet, for whatever reasons you don't have your sketchbooks, either you have left it in the hostel or whatever reasons, you also can draw. There's no problem in drawing isometric. Only thing is that you don't have the grid sheets with you, but you have to take the distances and angle properly. So if you're using it in a plain sheet, you will take a plain sheet, you will draw one horizontal line here. Okay, you will take a horizontal line as reference. From there, first you will draw a thin line at an angle of 30 degrees on either side, 30 degrees on right side and 30 degrees on left side. Then if you are supposed to, if I ask you to draw a cube of 50 mm again, what you will do, you have to first draw that ISO scale, isn't it? That's what I told in the previous slide. I was explaining about drawing the ISO scale. So you will take that ISO scale, in the compass you will measure that ISO 50 length, how much it is, keep it at the point where you started drawing the 30 degree line and cut the arc on either side. Got it? So please remember that don't take full 50, don't take true length 50, then your drawing becomes wrong. It becomes an isometric view, not isometric projection. So what you have to do is you have to take that scale and take that ISO 50 length and then draw that line in the compass. Cut the arc and get the distance. I hope that is clear, right? So 30-degree line you will draw first, and then you will take ISO 50 as the length. If 50 is asked, I'm just giving a number and to explain. 50 is asked, then ISO 50 will be taken from the ISO scale which you have drawn which I have explained in the previous slide. That length you will cut here. So every time you have to make sure that any distance is there, you have to convert that into ISO and then draw. Okay, so that's how you have to draw. But if you're using the sketchbook, it becomes very easy because there is no point of there's no need of converting this again as how you do it in the book. Every time taking ISO, converting that into ISO length and then drawing it. Here it is direct. Here you don't have to do any conversion. Please understand, in the sketchbook it is already in ISO. So you don't go to convert that into again ISO and then draw. Got it? So whatever length you are having here, it's already ISO only. So 50 means 5 blocks you take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is already ISO 50. Vertical also same way. If you take from one point, from any one point as a reference, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is already ISO 50. If you want, you can take the scale and measure and see. It will not be 50 if you measure. In the scale, it will be 50 into 8.614. Okay, whatever distance you get, that will be ISO 50. Okay, and one more thing. Most of you will not do this, but there are some students who might make that mistake. Whenever you start the drawing, you start it from a particular point. Okay, I just want to explain. See, some students will start from middle. Don't have that habit of starting somewhere from here, where 2 points intersect, right? These points, intersection points. So whatever drawing you start in isometry, it should start from an intersection point. Then only it becomes easy. Then only you can take 10, 20, 30 easy. If you start somewhere in between, it becomes difficult. So nowhere, in no case, please don't start anywhere in middle of the lines. Start it exactly at the point of coincidence, where it intersects. Any point you can take, anywhere in the point in the graph, but it should be at this point. So then it becomes easy to draw a line. 40 means, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 line. Another 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. Upwards, straight. So if you start from middle, it is confusing. You yourself don't know from where to draw. So always start from a particular point. Alright, so this is about isometric grid sheets. So those students who are having sketchbook with you, I hope I have made myself clear with this particular part, how to use this sheet. Okay, so you have to take any intersection point as the reference to start from there start drawing the sides. Okay, next we have to see about drawing the isometric sketches, which I think we will not start it from today. Okay, because if I start explaining that again, it will take a lot of time. So we will start it from the next class. But as an assignment point of view, I want all of you to draw a cube in this isometric view. Okay, it will be very easy actually. So drawing a cube becomes very easy. Even though I am not drawing it, I want to see whatever videos you have gone through for almost an hour now about isometric, the explanations, whatever I've gave with respect to isometric views or isometric projections, drawing the ISO scale with the use of these grid sheets, everything. Now if I ask, it's very simple. If I ask you to draw a cube of side 50 mm, so you have to draw it isometric projection of a cube of side 50 mm. That will be your assignment in isometric. Okay, so there are two problems that I'm asking you to do today. One, in the previous video I have asked you to draw a tetrahedron, and that will take half an hour maximum to draw, and then you have to draw a cube. This will literally take 5 minutes. Okay, even though if you take an let's say you are doing it the first time, it takes more time. Okay, maximum it may take 10 minutes. So you should be able to finish your assignment with 30 plus 10, 40 minutes. Alright, So what I want you to do is you have to draw a cube of 50 mm sides. That's all in an isometric view. So there is no showing hidden lines. You only have to draw the cube, the top face, the left face and right face. Three faces will come. Okay. So if at all I am starting from here, let's say you are drawing it from here, you will draw from here 50 and height will be 50. Same way you will get a face over here, one more face like this, and you have to join the top face 50. Okay, so that should be the assignment for you for today's class, and I hope all of you will do this assignment and submit it. All right. So in today's class we have completed projection of solids initially, right? We had to complete two problems there. That is one is a hexahedron, okay, and then we completed two problems on tetrahedron where we finished projection of solids, and then I started with the new module, isometric projection. So in isometric projection we had to go through the theory of that. What do you mean by isometric projection? What do you mean by isometric view? And what is the isometric scale? How to convert the lens into ISO? And then I have explained about the grid sheets. So I am giving you a simple task to draw a cube of 50 mm side, because after all the explanation that I have given, and if I don't ask you to draw a sketch when coming for the next class, again you will forget it. So I just want you to make use of this grid sheet and draw an isometric view, isometric projection of a cube. And this is applicable for all the students who are not having sketchbook also. Those who are having sketchbook will do it in the grid sheet and submit, and those who are not having the sketchbook will do it in the paper and submit. Okay, all right. So I hope you will submit your assignment in the evening. So we will stop the class here. Thank you.